At least once a week, I get asked how to film a YouTube video. They want to know, what is my process? How do I do it? What is my equipment like? So recently I had a video on my Georgia Coast Homes channel that is performing very well. In fact, I just released it this morning. As of right now, it is ranking #1 out of the last 10 videos that we have uploaded to the channel. So how did I film it? And why do I have a really good feeling about this video? I think it's going to become one of the top performers on my channel. So let me show you how I filmed this YouTube video. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing the same clothes in that video as I am in this video. How embarrassing. Before I got started filming, I wrote down my script word for word. Now, in the past, you've heard me talk about how I'm not a big fan of teleprompters, but I have recently become converted to the concept of the teleprompter for one very specific reason. The teleprompter that I bought is a little device that attaches to the top of my tripod. When I write out my script, I put it on my iPad, and my iPad sits on a little tray in front of the teleprompter. Because it is backwards and upside down, it reflects onto the glass of the teleprompter so that I can read the entire thing. I am reading it, but I'm looking at the camera. It makes it so much easier than trying to look off to the side and read your script, but the camera lens was over here. So you're never really making eye contact with the camera, which becomes very awkward for the viewer. You know what I'm saying? So now I love me a good teleprompter. It is definitely an acquired skill. It's taken a lot of practice. Sometimes I'm not making perfect eye contact with the camera, but I'm getting better and better the more that I do it. So before I even began filming, I wrote down my entire script, put it on my teleprompter, turned it on, started recording, filmed my entire video. Next, I planned out, what will my opening statement be? Remember, we do not want to start with, hello, I am a real estate agent with XYZ brokerage here in the Savannah area. We don't want to introduce ourselves at the very beginning of the video. Instead, we need to tell them something that's going to hook them in and make them want to keep watching the video. After that, you can introduce yourself, but don't let it be the first thing out of your mouth. So in this case, here's what I chose as my hook. Does Savannah, Georgia have alligators? Do we fry all our food? Do we get hit with hurricanes every single year? I'm going to answer all these questions and more because today I'm unboxing Savannah. So I thought of a couple of things I was going to talk about in the video, and I asked a question. I did not answer the question because I didn't want to give away the entire topic of the video right at the very beginning. Spoiler alert, they will leave and not come back because you just answered all of the questions. So I wanted to tease them what the video would be about and try to hook in their attention to get them to keep watching longer. Now you'll notice that I also really did not do a big branded intro. In the past, I have always had a company intro where it went from being 10 seconds long down to 5 seconds long, down even shorter. They have definitely gotten shorter over time. And now I'm to the point where I don't really like using them at all, because if you have the same branded intro on every single video that you do, anyone who's new to your channel, it's fine. They've never heard it before. But for the people that are subscribers and they've now heard this 17 times, they get very annoyed and they don't want to watch it again because, yes, I've seen this 17 times. Let's get through it. So now I'm trying to do some branding elements that are not the same on every single video, but they have the same general look and feel, the same color scheme, all of the things. I'm going to answer all these questions and more because today I'm unboxing Savannah. I don't know if that was good or not. Let's try one more time. So you can see that as I say something, if I felt like it was too stiff and awkward, I shrug my shoulders, I stretch a little bit, I blah, 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 you know, do whatever I need to do to try to loosen up so that it seems more natural, more easy on camera. We don't want to look like a deer in the headlights as we're reading our script. Does Savannah, Georgia have alligators? Do we fry all our food? Do we get hit with hurricanes every single year? Now, on those three statements, you'll notice that I did not take a big breath between the sentences. We don't want to hear between every sentence. Does Savannah get hurricanes? Is it haunted? Are there alligators? I am intentionally not taking a big breath between those sentences because it doesn't sound very good. So if you can't do it without breathing, do it like this. Is Savannah haunted? Do we have hurricanes? Do we have alligators? And that way, when you sit down to edit it, after you breathed, and then you take a little bit of a pause, that's where we make the cut. That way we can splice them together very easily. But you don't want to have these huge breaths right into the microphone after every sentence. It just sounds weird. Now, this part I'm really excited about because I did not introduce myself yet. I was a couple of minutes into the video before I introduced myself, and I tried to slide it in under the radar. So here is how I did it. What about the cost of living? Is it expensive to live in Savannah? People are moving to Savannah, Georgia in droves. I know this because I'm a realtor and my team assists people that are relocating to the area. We've seen a huge uptick in business since mid-2020. So did you see how I did that? I said I was a realtor without making a big deal about it. I kind of, slid it in there, hoping they wouldn't notice too much, but subconsciously they'd hear, oh, she's a real estate agent. She can help me if I'm deciding to buy or sell. But it's not some big, hello, I am a realtor. Can everyone please take notice? Send me all of your referrals. If you know anyone that wants to buy or sell, please call me. Oh, by the way, I'm never too busy for any of your referrals. We didn't do any of that. We just kind of mentioned it and then kept right on going. Now, on this part, I was walking kind of a fine line. I don't typically talk about politics on my channel, but in Savannah, we have remained relatively open. I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Washington a couple of days ago, and he said, are you guys starting to open up? Are you starting to get back to normal? And I said, this is the end of 2021. We've been open for over a year now at this point. We've been back to normal for a very long time. And I wanted to let the audience know that. So I kind of put this in here and I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. I don't know if people are going to love it or they're going to kill me in the comments, but I did kind of want to mention it. And I guess time will tell if this ended up being a good strategy or not. We've seen a huge uptick in business since mid-2020, and this is for a variety of reasons. The weather is number one. Maybe they just want to live somewhere warm and they don't want to shovel their driveway ever, ever, ever again. Maybe they're tired of dealing with awful traffic, or they're tired of insanely expensive property taxes, or quite possibly they don't want to live in an overly restrictive area that's telling them where to go and when they can go there and what they have to wear when they decided to go to those places. Or is that just me? So we shall find out how well that is received. Typically, I don't advise talking about politics on your channel, but I do feel like you need to show your personality and you will attract your tribe. Your vibe is your tribe, as they say. So if you can do it in a way that is not overtly in your face, it was a risk, but let's see what people thought about it. Which is why so many people are leaving California and they are moving to Georgia. But don't take my word for it. Here's a video. We did all about that. So remember when you're filming to reference other videos you've made that are already on your channel. You can say, oh, by the way, I did another video all about that. Here it is right here. You should click on it and watch that next. You already have that content. And if you can drive people to watch more of your videos, this is how we get people to binge watch your content. And the algorithm loves that. Now, even though I was reading from my teleprompter, I still make plenty of mistakes. And here is how I deal with it to let the editor know which ones I want to go with. Next up, alligators. Yes, there are alligators in this area. I myself have a pond on my property, and there is a 4-foot alligator living in the pond. Alligators live in fresh water, so yes, there are alligators in the area. Next up, alligators. Yes, there are alligators living in the area. I myself have a pond on my property, and there is a 4-foot alligator living in the pond. So I have told my editor that if I say the same sequence of events multiple times, the last one is always the best. I'm going to keep going until I get the take that I like the best. Therefore, don't use number 1, 2, or 3, use number 4. If I said it again, that's the one I'm going to use. And after I'm happy with it, I will usually say something like, that's the take. Let's use this one. Moving on. Or if I mess up, I'll say, oh, that was terrible. Let me try it one more time. I usually talk to my editor while I am recording so that they know which one I want to take. That way I don't have to send him a list of notes as long as my arm of all of the edits that I want him to make. The pace of life here is very relaxed. It's like people are on vacation all the time. People hardly ever get dressed up. If you go out to a restaurant and you're wearing a sundress and flip-flops, ladies, people hardly ever get dressed up here. A sundress and flip-flops. People hardly ever get dressed up here. A sundress and flip-flops or a Hawaiian shirt and your fancy cargo shorts are considered getting dressed up to go out to dinner. So you'll see that I just kept saying it over and over again. And yes, the alarm did go off on my phone telling me it was time to go pick my daughter up from school. Put your phone on vibrate, on silent mode, on do not disturb. Do yourself a favor, save yourself the time, but just keep saying it over and over again until you get the take that you want. Finally, when you get to the end of the video, you want to remember, what do I want them to do next? The last 20 seconds of your video are the end screen. What do you want them to do when they get to the end of the video? Don't just say, thanks for watching. Bye. See you next time. You're missing a golden opportunity. So let's see what I did to tell them what action I wanted to take next. If you are considering moving to the Savannah area, you'll want to watch this video next with tips for moving out of state. I tell a great horror story of a move gone wrong, my own, so that you can avoid making the same mistakes that I did. So I'll catch you on that video next. So that is how I film my YouTube videos, and this is how I stay consistent with my strategy. Because for me, being consistent with putting out videos on this channel is extremely important, and I'm convinced that that's a reason why the channel is so successful. So if you want to find out how to be consistent, watch this one next.